Hello, and welcome to the College Heights Huddle. My name is Adrianna Lein, and I am the softball beat reporter here, and with me is...
Quintanilla, Español editor, and person covering baseball.
Perfect. So we're just going to get into the bat and ball sports.
This is a ball, that's a glove.
We're going to get into Western's bat and ball sports over the week.
Yeah, all right. I'll start it off.
Don't mind me. I'm going to be eating my tomato basil soup. Bottoms up.
WKU Baseball started the week on Tuesday with a game against the University of Louisville, which was a very highly attended game by the WKU students, faculty, and anyone else that fills in that gap, with a total attendance of 1,624 people in Nick Dennis Field, which if you look at the field, you would not expect it to fit 1,624 people in that stadium, I would say. But very highly attended game, very important game. You know, the Commonwealth Clash, you know. My headline was fire for that gamer. If you guys want to hear it, just WKU Baseball, Clips, Cardinals, Wings, and Commonwealth Clash. Shout out me. And I say that because WKU won 10-5 in that game, where WKU decided to finally hit with runners on, an issue they had against Jack State, and foreshadowing an issue they had in the first two games in their weekend series. But against Louisville, they fixed something and hit 379 with runners on, which is very high. Leaders in that game were Camden Ross and JP Acosta, two of the most, I would say, consistent hitters on the team. You know, you have some hitters who are really consistent, like Ross, Acosta, Arroyos, and then you have some hitters that aren't so consistent and shouldn't be in the lineup. Manny Alberto. But we look on the other side of the ball, WKU pitching. You know, like I've said before, Reardon, his midweek games are the games where he pitches a lot of pitchers, puts in a lot of these players that don't play a lot during the weekend, but just wants to see what they're working with. He put in 7 pitchers against Louisville. They allowed 5 runs on 6 hits while allowing 4 walks, and they struck out 8 Cardinals batters, which is one of the hottest bats in the ACC. So impressive outing by the WKU pitchers. To start the game, the first 6 batters reached base and got out to a 4-0 lead before Louisville could record an out. That first out coming out with some really strange base running from a Reardon team. You know, we regard Reardon's teams as really good base runners because a lot of steals, a lot of just noise on the bases, but some questionable decision making on the pads against Louisville. Tossed out at third, and then in the 6th or 7th inning, there was a pickle. Guys, there was a pickle in a baseball game. And I got to watch it live. For those who don't know, a pickle is when the pitcher throws a ball to one of the basemen and there's a runner in between 2 bases and they have to run back and forth between the bases, try to get on base while the basemen are just throwing the ball back to each other. And it ended successfully. Hayden Robbins reached second base in a pickle, which is
I did.
Never seen before. Nowadays,
I did.
Pickles are...
We're back.
Pickles are unsuccessful a lot of the times because it's very easy to tag out. But Louisville was charged, I would say, with interference, which was really cool to see, actually. I love a good pickle.
It's really confusing.
You know what movie starts out with a pickle, guys? The Sandlot. That's how the movie starts. Anyways, continuing. Speaking of pickles, junior Jude Favela found himself in a pickle, only throwing 2 strikes out of his 14 pitches and not recording an out. So he was run out of the game pretty early. And then Louisville decided to tie the game with a home run by Tag Davis, who at the time was 4th in home runs in college baseball with 13. And he decided his 14th against WKU because I don't think he likes them. But then a 4-run 7th inning gave them the lead again. The other kind of big thing was Reardon played 2 freshmen, which hasn't been seen a lot as compared to last year. You know, last year he had his freshman Reid Howard who has not seen much playing time as a sophomore after getting hurt. But he started Ethan Reynolds, who has started, that was his second midweek game in a row starting. He started against Belmont. Ethan Reynolds, a graduate of South Warren High School here in Bowling Green, Kentucky, which is pretty cool. And he also pitched Kane Samuels, who threw a team high of 2 innings in that game. And now to give my voice a little break, we're going to talk about softball.
Yay. Okay. So softball just traveled to, I'm going to have you pronounce the city name.
Las Cruces.
Yeah, there, this weekend. For a 3-game Conference USA series. And despite a rather unfortunate series opener, which ended in an 8-0 run rule loss, the Hilltoppers were able to take the series with 2 wins on both Saturday and Sunday. During that run rule loss, the Hilltoppers really could not find any rhythm. Like, they, on all aspects of their game, they were off, which is one of the worst things you can. I mean, it's one thing for your pitching to be off, but your fielders to kind of pick up the slack, or your bats to be really hot, but your defense is kind of so-so. But I feel like it's another beast when all 3 are slacking. So WKU used 3 of its main pitchers, Maddie Wood, Rylan Smith, and Erica Hogue, in game 1. All 3 of those pitchers, if I'm remembering correctly, only between the 3 of them only recorded 1 strikeout, which is not ideal, obviously. Then, in the field, WKU recorded 4 errors, which is also not ideal because, I mean, even just 1 error is kind of frowned upon, but 4, that's just not good. And then also as a team, in 16 at-bats, the Hilltoppers only recorded 1 hit.
And that's where it goes. That's not good at all.
Yeah. Just a rather poor performance on all fronts, which obviously made the 8-0 run rule loss make sense. But the Hilltoppers were able to come back in game 2 and get a 7-5 win. The next 2 games across the series were much closer. Both Saturday and Sunday's games saw multiple ties throughout the games. The hitting was highlighted by Lauren Satterley, who is a freshman who started as the catcher for both Saturday and Sunday, which has been a position that's been held by junior Macy Masters pretty much up until this point. And Satterley was able to get WKU scoring going in game 2 with her RBI double, which is really, you can't ask for anything more than that. For, to be in the starting lineup in that position for the first time and get that kind of production, you can't ask for anything more. So that, along with a 2 RBI home run by Kennedy Stinson, just a lot more offensive production in game 2 to lead to the 7-5 win. And then game 3 on Sunday ended in a 9-4 win, which secured the series win for the Hilltoppers. And like I said, this game was also very close. Neither team led by more than 2 runs up until the final inning. So that was watching the game, I would not have been surprised if it went to extras. But it didn't, thanks to a 4-inning 7th, top of the 7th. That was also another reason why I thought it was going to go to extras was the Hilltoppers left bases loaded in the top of the 5th, which they were able to secure 2 runs in the 5th to go ahead by 2. But, I mean, to leave that many on base, especially in 2 outs. The first out was a fielder's choice out at home, but the third and final out was sophomore third baseman Katie Murphy striking out. not the way you want to go out. Obviously, leaving runners on base is not ideal, but especially not bases loaded. But the Hilltoppers were able to rally. They were up 5-4 in the 7th. The start of the 7th inning, the start of the offensive production was junior shortstop Morgan Sharp. She hit an RBI double to right field. Oh, it was a beautiful hit. Oh my gosh, it hit the right field line, so it was still like good to play. Like if it
Fair.
Yes, I didn't remember the word. Thank you. It was still fair, which was able to score 2. So that put the Hilltoppers up 7-4, and then Katie Murphy hit an RBI single, and then Sharp was able to score from third. It was really good to see the Hilltoppers just grind out the weekend, especially after losing, not even recording a run in the series opener. Like that's a very sour way to start a weekend. But they were able to come together as a team, and it was, I mean, I think the only person who scored a home run was Kennedy Stinson.
Hit a home run.
Whatever! Oh my gosh. So it was a lot of team effort. Like it was a very much team effort for the series win. So now softball is ranked 4th in CUSA standings, and the Hilltoppers still lead the conference in both batting average and ERA. They're hitting .335 on the season, and the pitching staff has a posted .278 ERA, which 2 thumbs up to that. That's great. That's really all I got for softball. The Hilltoppers will return home this weekend to host Sam Houston in another 3-game conference series. But with Easter being on Sunday, the series is Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Boom.
Now, baseball.
Baseball, after coming off a series sweep by Jack State, traveled to Huntsville, Texas to face Sam Houston, where they lost the series again 2-1. So Western opened the series by just getting 1 hit in game 1.
Hey, softball too.
That's not something to high five for.
Wait.
Not high fiving.
Come on,
Still not high fiving that.
Come on. Wait, that was bad. There we go.
And that game was really highlighted by junior right-handed pitcher Ryan Peterson for Sam Houston, who tossed a complete game, allowing just 4 walks, 1 hit, 0 runs in his start, which was a very good start for Peterson. Really well-pitched game for him to get through all 9. But, yeah, just Western's batting 1 hit. They managed 4 walks and 2 hit by pitches, but all those base runners were left on base, including the tying run on second base in the 9th inning, which all they needed was 1 run to tie the game and to send it to the bottom of the 9th, but they couldn't manage that either. The pitching staff, though, did a little bit better, holding them to 1 solo shot home run in the 6th by Hunter Alvord, who later hit the first RBI in game 2, which WKU also lost. Great segue into that one. Sam Houston won game 2 11-5, where WKU left 7 runners on base and managed just 6 for 19 with runners on. Starter Nathan Lawson was run out after just 2 innings after giving up 5 runs on 5 hits, 2 walks, and this seemed to be a problem in the Jack State series starting pitching. Overall, starting pitching for Western went 13.2 innings, allowing 6 runs, 10 hits, while striking out 12 batters. So it was a better starting rotation for Western, but the issue would still be start finding their third starting pitcher. Nathan Lawson started his first game in a conference game. He started an earlier weekend game, but this was his first conference start, and it does not seem like his place to start again with his just 2 innings of work in game 2, which was detrimental in game 2 for the Hilltoppers. The Hilltoppers did rally up in the 7th and the 9th, scoring 4 in the 7th and 1 in the 9th, but I don't know, giving up 11 runs is never a good sign for a game. But WKU did manage one win in the series.
Yeah, they did.
In Game 3, WKU finally found they were a baseball team and won 8-2. Where they had more hits in Game 3 than in the first 2 games combined. WKU had 16 hits in Game 3 as they went 16 for 39. They had 39 at-bats in one game. That's a lot. With many hitters going up 6 and 5 times in the game, which is crazy. They hit 8 for 22 with runners on and was highlighted by, of course, Lein, who went 3 for 6 with 3 RBIs in Game 3. But also the highlight that I wanted to mention was Gavin Perry, graduate right-hander Gavin Perry, who has been the Game 1 starter for Hilltoppers in the FIU series and the Jack State series. But after Jack State, Reid moved him down to Game 3, the Game 3 starter, which is usually your weaker of the 3 starters, I would say. You know, you want to start with your strongest starter, who was graduate Aaron Robertson this weekend, who had a good outing against Sam Houston in Game 1. Then you had Nathan Lawson in Game 2, who only went 2 innings. And then Gavin Perry started Game 3. So it was his first Game 3 start. And he went 6.2 innings, only giving up 1 run on 3 hits, and struck out 9 batters.
Wow.
So pretty good outing by Gavin Perry, and I think that's enough to move him up in the starting rotation again, especially since they don't have a Game 2 starter. If Redden leaves Aaron Robertson as a game starter, I don't think Perry takes back his Game 1 start, though. I think Robertson had a good enough outing against Sam Houston to secure his another Game 1 spot. The same mistakes they were having in Jack State, not being able to hit with runners on, leaving those runners on base when they get those opportunities. And that's what happened in the first 2 games again. So that drops down Western to 6 in Coosa now. 7th in Coosa. 6-7. 6-7. So overall, Western are 15-13 and have a 4-5 conference record. It's a very, very tough Conference USA this season, with Jack State leading the conference 9-0 so far. They're doing pretty good on both sides of bat and ball. Their softball is also performing pretty well. Yeah, pretty difficult Conference USA this season for bat and ball, which entails for some really good games. Western will play again this week. They open the week on Tuesday with a game against Tennessee Tech on March 31st, starting at 6 p.m. Be a little good game to rebound from the series loss, see who needs to leave the lineup, who needs to be brought into the lineup. And I'm not calling anyone out, guys, okay? I think everyone is very good in the starting lineup and deserve a spot there. I just want to make that clear. No hard feelings to anyone at all. That'll be at Nick Dennis Field. They return back home. And then they will continue home as they host Liberty for a 3-game series at Nick Dennis Field, which will also start on Thursday and end on Saturday because of Easter.
Boom.
Boom.
That's all for Bat and Ball Sports on the Hill. I'm hitting it off to Peyton Reid and Morgan Larkins for Around the Hill.
Thank you, David and Adrianna. I am Peyton.
And I'm Morgan. Long time no see.
And we are going to be talking about sports around the hill that don't get a lot of coverage. We're going to talk about tennis, men's golf, and women's golf.
And I'm going to start tennis.
Yeah, what's going on in the tennis land?
Well, they're losing.
They are.
So this week they lost 6 straight matches. They most recently lost 4-0 against the University of Alabama, Birmingham. Olvera and Fernandez, they won doubles, so WKU is not fully losing. But the singles match, everyone was lost. So they are 8-12 and 0-2 in Coosa.
Yeah, not
Great.
very great. Last time we talked about them, they were better. Yeah, it's been a struggle. No one's fully been able to find. I think the past few games, that no one has been able to win in singles.
Yeah. And I think singles is where they struggle mostly anyway. So.
But moving on, some success in the golf world. Men's golf, they just finished third, their best finish so far in the spring season. at the Austin P Intercollegiate Tournament. It was a good start. The first day they finished second of the 12 teams, and then kind of fell there in the second day to end the tournament. But now they're going to Vanderbilt for the Mason Rudolph Intercollegiate Tournament. Going to look to build on that. But so far so good. They had one bad tournament at Florida State. I think they finished 14th out of 21 teams. But looking to continue to build on that momentum come the Vanderbilt tournament. And then women's golf is currently at the Liz Murphy Invitational. Day 2 just got done with today, and they're 5th right now. But Sydney Hackett, for individuals, she is leading WKU, and she's currently sitting at 10th. Which two pretty good golf programs. Women's golf, obviously, coming off a historic season last season, looking to build on it. But, yeah, still room to grow for them as Day 2 happens on Monday. We're recording this on Sunday. So, yeah, that's basically what's going on around the Hill. Hopefully tennis can
Kick it up, kick it in gear, get some singles wins, not be losing.
In men's golf to build on it, and obviously women's golf. The golf season's confusing. I think they both have 3 more tournaments because I believe it ends in May sometime. So
I don't know anything about golf. That's why Peyton did that one.
So that is it for Around the Hill. We are now handing it to David and Anthony to talk about boxing.
Thank you, Peyton and Morgan, for an amazing Around the Hill segment. I am David Quintanilla here with
Anthony Clauson, news editor of the College Heights Herald.
And we will be talking about the ring, as in boxing.
It's a beautiful world of boxing out there. David, what are you looking forward to coming up here in the boxing world?
Well, I was looking forward for that Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao fight, but according to recent reports, that might be off the book. That might be off.
Now these two have notoriously ducked each other multiple times, both parties being at fault, till they finally had a fight. Manny Pacquiao lost that fight, David. A lot of people said that he was too far over the hill, and that Floyd Mayweather's more defensive style kind of gave him a bit of an edge when it came to fighting. As an old man, he can fight old because he didn't get hit in the head as much, because he kind of just ran around the ring. That's a controversial take, that he just ran around, but
it's a pretty valid take.
I'm not a Mayweather. Were you even excited to see this fight, David? Let's be honest. Did you want this fight to happen?
At first I didn't want it to happen. I think, with many people, I was not looking forward to it. But as we grew closer to it, it was in my calendar.
For me, it would have categorized as one of those fights. I'm not going to bother watching it. I'm not going to bother watching it the night of. Maybe I'll watch the clips in the morning. It's a clips in the morning type fight. It's going to be a circus fight. They're both well past their prime. Though I will say, Manny Pacquiao, this would have been his second fight out of retirement, having faced Mario Barrios previously. Barrios, not necessarily a great fighter, but he is active. He was champion at the time. Now he's a former champion. Manny Pacquiao put up a good performance against him. I mean, obviously Mario Barrios is really not going to push any major championship level fighter, but for someone so far out of their prime, Pacquiao put up a good show.
He did.
Did you manage to catch the Barrios Pacquiao fight?
Yeah, that was one of those fights where my uncle and dad were watching it on the couch. So walked in, they were watching that, and I was like, "Who's fighting?" And my dad was like, "Pacquiao." I was like, "Oh." Had to pop a seat to watch that one.
Yeah, I watched that one. I find myself wanting Mario Barrios to be so good. He's just one of those fighters where you want him to be good, but every time he manages to find a way to lose.
Yeah.
It's to the point where it's like, are you losing on purpose? He lost to Ryan Garcia,
who was another fighter who I want to succeed very badly, but finds a way to lose.
And now, have you seen Ryan Garcia's most recent internet escapades?
Oh no. Is there more?
Ryan Garcia is calling out recently retired Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford, one of the greatest fighters of all time, pulled a amazing upset, jumping up in weight against Canelo Alvarez. I mean, Crawford, he retired undefeated. He retired immediately recognized as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters of all time. Ryan Garcia has recently said that he never fought anyone young and hungry, and that he's actually a bum. Ryan Garcia says one of the best fighters in the game, king of the pound-for-pound list for years, is a bum. That'd be like if we called out Terrence Crawford, you know?
Yeah, we're on the same level as Ryan Garcia. I mean, I would also take a knee.
I could also lose to Rolly Romero. While it would be interesting, I don't think this is going to pull Crawford out of retirement, to be honest. I don't see that happening. If Crawford did come back out of retirement, I think Ryan Garcia would be a great tune-up fight for a rematch against Canelo, though.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
I really was hoping for a Canelo rematch. I really hate that it did not happen. I know Canelo has been pretty upset that it did not happen. And while I don't know that Canelo would even win a rematch, it's just one of those fights you really want to see.
Yeah. No, the first fight was a very entertaining fight. You know, Crawford went out there, attacked Canelo.
I mean,
which was not something that many people expected to happen.
Yeah, I mean, to be that much smaller than Canelo, who's gone all the way up to light heavy, and just absolutely dominate the whole time was unprecedented. And, you know, speaking of rematches that we all want to see, Alexander Usyk, two-time unified heavyweight champion, has finally budged on maybe not having a trilogy with Tyson Fury. I've never been happier. I've never been more ecstatic because, you know, we were talking about, I might watch the highlights of Pacquiao versus Mayweather 2. I would not even bother with the highlights of Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury. That is such a nothing burger fight. Alexander Usyk beat Tyson Fury the first time by split decision. Then beat him the second time more aggressively, more in a unanimous decision. Why would they fight a third time? After both fights also did Tyson Fury retire and then came out of retirement again. I do not want to see this fight. How do you feel about this fight, David?
I mean, it just feels like a money grab for both fighters. I didn't want to see the second one.
Yeah.
I kind of didn't want to watch the first one.
Now, okay, the first one was a good fight.
It was a good fight.
Okay. Now, recently, though, it has been reported that Alexander Usyk said he might take a fight with Ajit Kabayel instead of Tyson Fury, and this is a fight I want to see. Kabayel is 27-0 with 19 knockouts. He's one of the rising prospects. But before we can even consider that, before we can even have hope of good fights, Alexander Usyk has to take on a kickboxer who has only had one professional boxing match, and they're going to fight in front of the pyramids of Giza.
Yes, sir. That's where the prime time location of boxing is.
Prime time location. We're going to fight in Egypt in front of the pyramids. He's going to fight someone who's not a boxer.
Hey, he's a kickboxer. All right? That boxing is in the name of that.
Okay, it's still very different. Is not going to translate over. His name is Rico Verhoeven, I think is how it's pronounced. Don't know if that's correct. He's apparently a really good kickboxer. Everyone said Andrew Tate was supposed to be a good kickboxer, and then he got beat up by someone with like misfits or something. Beat up with a YouTuber. So I don't have much faith in kickboxers switching over to boxing.
No. Hey, but this is going to be the greatest fight of all time in front of the pyramids.
Who's going to watch this? Genuinely, someone, Malone, sitting behind the camera, put out a poll. Put out a poll of who's going to watch this. I'm not going to. I don't care. This one I will watch the clips of the next morning. That's my rating. That's my rating. Am I gonna find a way to watch the fight? Am I just gonna watch the clips the next morning, or do I just not care at all? This one I do not care at all, and I hate that we have to slog through it to get to an actual fight that's still just a hypothetical. He also said that he wants to take on the winner of Daniel Dubois versus Fabio Wardley. What are your thoughts on this, David?
Ooh, I like Daniel Dubois. I'm a big fan. I'm a big Dubois fan.
Danny Dubois.
Hey.
He's a great fighter. He's a young fighter, and he's taken on. He's got a decent amount of losses on his record because he's taking on these big fights like super early in his career.
Yep.
So I commend him for that. People like to hate on him. Mm-hmm. I think because of the losses, but then when you look who these losses are to, I mean, 2 of them are to Usyk. Mm-hmm, but that is also why I do not really want to see Usyk take on the winner between Daniel Dubois and Fabio Wardley, because there's a very good chance that Daniel Dubois wins, and then I don't care to see a trilogy with a fighter that he knocked out twice. These aren't even decision victories. He knocked out Dubois. The last one was over in the 5th round.
It is true.
Why would I watch a trilogy to that?
I feel like Usyk is like when like a movie franchise can't stop making sequels. I think that's what he wants to become.
I mean, Usyk started out as like the best thing that the heavyweight division has ever seen, and he has quickly turned into the Fast and Furious franchise, just pumping out slop that nobody. Who saw the most recent Fast and Furious movie? Did you see it, David?
Which one was that? Was that?
You don't know. Exactly.
Which one?
Proves my point.
Oh, I did watch that one. That's the one with Jason Momoa. Yeah, no, I did watch that one. Great movie. Amazing movie. Don't check my letterbox. It's like a 2-star.
You don't need the lot. Exactly. 2-star. This is about to be a 2-star fight. I just... Why are we bothering with the winner of Daniel Dubois versus Fabio Wardley? Fabio Wardley is a good prospect. Give him a chance. And there's kind of 2 camps, and I want to hear your thoughts on this, David. There are the people who are saying Usyk is at the end of his career. He has only got 3 fights left. Let him make his money and let him get out of the sport. Mm-hmm. But then there are also the people who are saying Alexander Usyk is not giving the young prospects enough of a chance to prove themselves, and that he's being a little greedy, taking these circus fights in front of the pyramids and a trilogy with Tyson Fury and a trilogy maybe with Dubois.
I think I'm in agreement with that, with the second group there. I think I think it's just time. Every fighter has their time to leave the sport, and I think we're getting there for.
Yeah, and I mean, I get he's wanting to make his money before he gets out. He would make more money if he took fights people actually wanted to see.
Yeah.
There are fights where you can obviously tell they're going up against this name for the money. When Mario Barrios fought Manny Pacquiao, Barrios took that fight for the money.
Yeah.
I mean, win or lose, Mario Barrios will forever have Manny Pacquiao on his record. That pay-per-view is going to sell very well. That's obviously a fight for the money, but it's still an interesting fight that people want to see. Mm-hmm. I mean, what Usyk is doing right now, and I think I don't even know that these young prospects would beat Usyk. He is genuinely that good, but he needs to at least let the prospects get a loss on their record and be able to say, I have Alexander Usyk, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, on my record.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I see that.
A lot of people are calling for him to fight Moses Itama. What are your thoughts on Itama?
Itama is very talented. Very talented boxer.
Very talented. 14 wins, 12 knockouts. He is 0 losses. 0 losses. He has only not knocked out his opponent twice. That's incredible. My problem with Itama, though, is why is he not calling out these big names? It was around not his most recent victory, But the last one, people, were asking him, what's the next step? Are you going to call out Usyk? And he was like, he was waffling on it. And he's saying, I'm still young. Even if I lose, like, what's it matter? I still have a whole career ahead of me. And, a lot of the commentators weren't liking those types of comments. And I'm there with them. I mean, I think if you're such a strong, young prospect, then you kind of need to build yourself up and you need to take these big fights. Tyson Fury still is saying that he's coming out of retirement. Why not call out Tyson Fury? That would be a great fight for his resume. Win or lose, people are going to say a young Itama took on Tyson Fury. I think Moses could win, personally. Tyson Fury is he's good, but he's pretty well over the hill.
Yeah.
And I mean, he just, especially in the second fight against Usyk. I mean, obviously Usyk did more of the same. Tyson Fury seems shaken though. I think he's really not able to deal with the fact that he lost, and I don't see him winning again.
Yeah. No, after that second fight against Usyk,
Yeah, I mean, he's coming out of retirement, and honestly, if he's not fighting one of the up-and-comers, I do not care to see who he fights.
No, I think him coming out of retirement is a great opportunity for these rising stars to get a fight, a major fight on their resume early on in their careers, so they just have that resume builder.
And a lot of eyes on them. I mean, Tyson Fury has such a big fan base, especially in the UK.
And the UK.
And UK boxing is so much bigger. I know in the United States it's died off a bit with the rise of MMA, but in Europe and specifically the UK, they love boxing way more than they love MMA. And to get all these fans to put their eyes on these young prospects like Fabio Wardley, Caballel, Moses Tama, that would be so good for their careers, again, win or loss. Yeah. And I just kind of hate seeing this old guard refuse to fight them.
No, I get it. No. Yeah. Hey, but he's fighting in front of the pyramids.
He's fighting in front of the pyramids.
He's fighting.
I've always wanted to see a fight in front of a big triangle.
Multiple.
That's what the fans want.
That's what I want.
Why don't they make the ring a triangle, David?
Ooh, there we go. Proposal.
$1 million idea.
$1 million idea. The ring turns into a triangle. There's only 3 corners in a triangle.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. It would take one away.
It's true.
It's true. Now, which corners do the boxers go into?
Well, okay. Well, what kind of triangle is it going to be?
That's a great
right
question.
Triangle?
Ooh, I don't think you can do a right triangle.
I think you would have to do a right triangle, so that way you could have them at either end of the hypotenuse.
Ooh,
it's math for you.
Ooh. No, I like that idea. Yeah. All right, right triangle ring. Fighters on either side of the hypotenuse. In front of the pyramids.
Perfect.
Boom. Sign us right now.
Usyk should hurry up and retire so he can have his MMA fight against Jake Paul, though. They've been teasing that for a while.
And that's what I'm excited for.
Would you watch that, David?
Only if it's on Netflix.
Watch it to see if his jaw gets broken again. That'd be pretty fun.
Shout out Jake Paul's broken jaw. And this is the last segment.
Wow.
I've heard.
And dear listeners of the College Heights Huddle, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know none of the other people on this podcast appreciate you, but just know that I do. And just know that this will never be cut. My monologue here at the end, it's going to stay in its entirety. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, send us mail. We're gonna have a mail segment. Send us your mail. We'll open it up live.
Fan mail. College Heights Huddle.
Sent to David's home address.
Yes.
We'll be sending that out everywhere.
Yes. It'll be on my Herald profile.
Yes.
Yes.
Packages are encouraged. They will not be screened. They will not be X-rayed.
No.
Please.
We're opening on the spot.
We are going to very carefully bring them in here and then very violently open them.
We're like Jinxie. So please subscribe to the YouTube. Brand new YouTube made by our amazing producer, Malone.
Like, comment, subscribe, smash that notification bell. hit share, repost, reblog.
And please tell us if you're excited for
Send-
Usyk versus Rico.
Tell us which Usyk fight you want to see. David will fight whoever the top comment is in a sanctioned boxing match
In the Herald basement.
in the Herald basement.
Tickets will go on sale next month.
Tickets on sale soon. I hear Sabrina Carpenter's going to be ringside.
I'll fight anyone. Thank you for listening to College Heights Huddle. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please comment and turn those notifications on so that you get a notification whenever Malone posts. Thank you for listening.